The first trailer for Thor Love and Thunder finally came out, and it was the first time I reacted to something since a couple of you guys had asked for it. We'll see how it goes, but I don't see any reason why I can't react to future trailers as well, as long as I remember, of course. Anyways, that's not important. What is important is the trailer itself and everything it revealed. At the very beginning, we see Thor running, and as he ages up from a child to present-day Thor, we see him wearing his comic-accurate costume, complete with the yellow boot and winged helmet. And while that is an awesome reference, I really love his new suits. The mostly blue one is awesome, but the gold one is sick. It almost makes him look like a different character. Next, we see him training to lose his endgame weight, and he's wearing a Strongest Avenger hat, which is a funny callback to Ragnarok, where he tried to access the Quinjet by referencing to himself as the Strongest Avenger, but Tony had actually given that title to the Hulk. And then later on, after he wakes up, the two of them have that little argument. Anyways, we also see Ravager Thor, or Thor's new look that he dons while he's an official member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it seems like there may be a little something more than a friendly relationship between him and Star-Lord, at least in Thor's eyes. We then see our first look at Russell Crowe's Zeus, the first Greek god to make their way into the MCU. But with how grand Olympus seems to be in the movie, I wouldn't be surprised if we're also introduced to Hercules, Ares, or any of the other notable Greek gods like Hades, or maybe even Poseidon, since we know that Thor Love and Thunder has connections back to Moon Knight, and we'll also for some reason see the Wakandan panther god Bast, played by Akosia Sabbath. Plus, with Namor being the main villain in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, a Poseidon tease wouldn't be too bad. And lastly, we saw Jane Foster's Mighty Thor, but something that's really important is Mjolnir. In Thor Ragnarok, Hela destroyed the hammer, but we saw from leaked set videos that when Jane touches a piece of Mjolnir, the hammer rebuilds itself and gives her the powers of Thor. After the trailer dropped, Marvel also revealed a ton of new toys, and the Funko Pop for Gore the God Butcher seems to have a connection to Venom. As you can see, the base looks very similar to a symbiote, but I don't think that it'll have anything to do with symbiotes yet. Venom did leave a piece behind in No Way Home, and in the comics, Null the god of the symbiotes was the one who created All Black the Necro Sword, which Gore eventually acquired and will use in the movie. Next, I know that I've already talked about this a few times, but the official runtime for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's not going to be any longer, but it's really not a big deal. While you could argue that the movie will be overstuffed with cameos, they'll mostly be short, so they won't affect the story in any way. Characters will pop in and out, which is good because not every single character will need large amounts of development or screen time like most of the characters needed in Spider-Man No Way Home. If Tom Cruise's Iron Man or John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic appear, it'll only be for 5 minutes max before Wanda kills them. Professor X is probably the only cameo that could have more screen time, but everyone else, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Black Bolt, Wolverine, Daredevil, Loki, or any of the other characters that are rumored to appear, it'll just be really quick. Deadpool also won't matter because he'll be a post-credit scene, so they can just give him that entire time. The only characters the movie will really need to focus on are Strange, Wanda, America Chavez, Wong, and Sinister Strange since he'll probably be the real villain. Everyone else's roles will be much smaller in comparison to the main characters in the movie, as well as most of the characters in No Way Home, so while it would be amazing, we don't really need a 3-hour movie. And lastly, no offense to Tyrese Gibson, but he really seems a little clueless at times, saying that Morbius does take place in the MCU when it clearly doesn't, not being aware of the movie's multiple delays months after they had taken place, falling for a fake quote from Martin Scorsese calling Morbius the truest height of cinema, and now posting a picture of Blade captioned, "We're on." Now some people have said that maybe he's just unaware that Marvel already cast Mahershala Ali as Blade and is petitioning to play the character in the MCU, but I don't think that he's that stupid. Instead, what he most likely means is that he wants Simon Stroud to team up with Blade to hunt vampires or something, since the panel he posted as Blade saying, "We've got a lot of vampires to kill." And of course, with Morbius still being at large by the end of the movie, it would make sense for him to eventually come across and have to fight Blade. However, the only problem is again, the fact that Morbius and Simon Stroud are not in the MCU and currently have no way to cross over. Unless of course Vulture has a portal gun, but even then, if they could cross over, Simon Stroud had literally no character development in the movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a few months, most people completely forgot that he's in the movie since it was chopped to bits. I mean, he didn't even use his robotic arm for Christ's sake. When you watch the movie, it really just looks like a very advanced cast. Plus, Kevin Feige would never let this happen unless Sony changes things ASAP. But either way, I don't think there's any chance that Blade and Stroud team up to take on Morbius, or that Blade even comes across Morbius anytime soon, if ever. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Did you enjoy the Thor 4 trailer, and how excited are you for the movie? What do you think of Doctor Strange 2's runtime? Is it fine, or do you think it's too short? And what do you think of Simon Stroud and Morbius having any connection to Blade in the MCU? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you will never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.